Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord and our unmodded playthrough. So you can see right here, we're actually going to be attacking a hideout, and thankfully there's only one group in here, and that just so happens to be the Bandit Boss. So we shouldn't have a dramatically difficult time dealing with this guy, and I don't think I'm going to fight the duel, even though it could probably get us some pretty decent gains potentially, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to do a standard fight. Oh, nice damage. Wow, that was actually some pretty good damage right there. And I've got to learn a little bit about melee flow. And, well, what is melee flow, if you don't know? Basically, if you're attacking from the right side and you're going for a forehand attack, so just a straight up normal attack, and then you hit the guy, and then your weapon, because obviously it's got a little bit of weight behind it, in Bannerlord especially, then the best way to go about maximizing your DPS, or your damage per second, is to then take the sword through, so hit through, and then take it from the other side, and do a backhanded slash in the other direction. And that generally is going to result in much better damage in that short space of time. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to get a little bit better at doing that, because at the moment I am not very good at it. So I'm gonna have to get a little bit better at it. Because here's the thing: sometimes if you're able to make it work really, really well, you can actually do so much damage just from the sheer fact that your attack speed has increased by just that slight amount, just enough to be able to beat other opponents off the bat. So if there's a duel or something like that, and you manage to get a successful attack on the guy that you're fighting, and then your weapon does actually follow through, and then you're able to attack from the other side in the next swing, the timing pretty much gives you all you need, which I think is really quite amazing. Now, technically, I could sell some iron ore here. I think we will sell a little bit, but not too much. We're just going to sell a little bit here because, obviously, I don't really want to sell it all to Myzea because technically it is a Khuzait town, and we want to try and maximize our gains in our own town. So hopefully I'll be able to do that too. Anyway, what I'm going to start doing now is, because we have well, as you can quite clearly see here, we're gaining a lot of extra cash from our workshops. We're getting 300 by the looks of things every single day, which is actually kind of amazing. I wouldn't have expected that, to be honest, but yep, that's pretty much what's going down here. It's pretty nice. And oh yeah, to reiterate upon the whole traits thing, because obviously the developers have revamped the one-handed weapon tree and things like that. And I know that there is a website that generally has information on which perks are actually working and which aren't. I believe it's called Bannerlord Perks or something like that. But anyway, the point is that website is very illuminating, because I had no idea that most, if not all, of the traits in most of these ability trees are actually not even implemented at all. They're not implemented at all. I literally thought that they were just giving us a very small amount of benefit most of the time, but it actually turns out that most of them are not even in the game. So, for example, two-handed weapon proficiency, that previously didn't have that much. The riding skill as well. Riding skill also doesn't have anything from it in the game implemented right now. So all of those riding increases and things, yeah, it does help you to increase your speed on a horse, but that's it. It doesn't actually help you to do anything else, to take any of those perks or traits or whatever you want to call them, and that's it, which is actually kind of amazing. I wouldn't have expected that. I actually would have expected most of them to be implemented, at least the initial ones. But if we actually go to our character screen here, the first one that we have is 6% increase to horse hit points. That's not implemented, according to the website, at least at the moment. And we have this, spare arrows. Your quivers will have +3 arrows when you enter battle on horseback. That's not implemented. None of this is implemented. Oh yeah, and bad news. Bad news for me, specifically. None of this is implemented either. None of the crossbow skills are implemented. Even though I don't know whether it was the placebo effect. It might have been the placebo effect, to be honest. But I kind of felt like my crossbow was reloading faster. But maybe it is, as I say, the placebo effect. It could be. It could be. So that is actually kind of disappointing to me because I was really looking forward to playing a crossbow build, and it looks as though I won't be able to really bring it to fruition until the developers actually get down to fixing those perks. I could install a mod known as Community Patch, and basically what that does is that fixes the perks, and it basically just adds a whole bunch of other fixes, I guess. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what else it does, to be honest, but wow, we are gaining so much money here. Wow, okay, look at that. 4,000, almost 4,800. That is actually insane. That is crazy for such a small amount of iron. That was actually kind of amazing. Okay, you know what? I'd like to find another village with a massive amount of iron available. This silver ore over there. You know, it would be... can I actually search for that, by the way? Can I actually search for... No, I think you need a mod for that. I don't think you can search for iron ore or anything like that. No, you can't search for iron ore, of course. Oh, well, that's going to obviously come with time, potentially. But, wait a minute. I think this one? Yeah, there we go. I remember that one. Yes, I remember that one from our Pelosaur series where we focused on playing as a trader, and generally, you know, we kind of like to, you know, be quite aware of what kind of villages provide what kind of resources and things like that. But yeah, as I was saying, the community patch does add a huge amount of different fixes. I actually just started recently using it in the Crusade series, and it is amazing the amount of fixes are actually included with that. It is really quite amazing. And amusingly enough, Byron, who is our character in that series, there's actually 19 looters here. I wouldn't mind fighting them, actually. But yeah, anyway, Byron, who is the main character in that series, he was using a quiver with about 23 or 27 arrows. I'm not entirely sure. I can't really remember the exact number. But with the community patch installed, he now has 39 arrows because, of course, he does have some very significant skills. He's got over 200 in bows, in riding, all that stuff, because obviously he's a horse archer character. But it is so amazing to see the modding community and their dedication. I mean, I've obviously already said that quite a few times, and I just personally feel like the modding community cannot get enough praise. I feel like they really need all the praise that they can get, because it is amazing what they're capable of doing. Really is. Being able to implement those fixes is so incredibly nice. Anyway, I'm going to tell my people to charge in here. I don't think we really need to tell them to charge in, to be honest, but it's kind of nice to do so anyway. And now I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's not even worth me playing with a crossbow, but I like it, you know? I like it quite a bit. But as I say, maybe it's just not worth it because we're not going to gain the benefits of those perks. But yeah, as I say, the community patch really did help Byron out quite a bit, because beforehand his skills and his perks were just not working. It's actually amazing. I can't believe it. Anyway, there you go. We are able to level up a couple of extra people. Yeah, some people have actually been telling me not to level up all of my units after fighting, because if you leave them ready to level up, then they will gain more experience over time. And I believe that's how it worked in Warband as well. But generally, the only reason why I'm leveling people up is just so that we can have stronger units to go into battles with, so that we don't have to worry too much about having significant losses or even end up getting ourselves taken prisoner. Unfortunately, this is not a very good village to go to, and I'm going to try going around the side here and seeing if we can go to Epicrotia's villages and see if we can maybe get some iron from there. That is probably going to make the most sense. And I'm actually kind of thinking to myself, do I even want to bother with the Neretze's Folly quest right now? It's probably not even worth it, to be honest, is it? So I'm just going to buy a bunch of iron here. It's not really worth it me buying this for 3,000, but I'm going to do it nevertheless just because I want to try and provide as much resources, well, as many resources as I possibly can to my smithy at Lycaron. And technically I could take this to Maranath as well, but I personally feel like Maranath is going to be doing perfectly fine without me assisting them in any way. So yeah, that's going to be very nice to see. And you look at this, we're gaining a good amount. Look at that, we're gaining a good amount every single day. And I think the reason for that is that Maranath has now started to kick in. So oh no, seems like this castle is actually under siege by some Vlandians. So that's going to be a bit problematic if they end up taking Maranath or raiding a couple of these villages nearby. And that might very well be the reason, or one of the reasons, why we were taking a pretty heavy economic loss from our workshops, even though we had just purchased it, you know. So it's one of those things where you just gotta stick with it, try your very best, and then maybe just hope and get to a point where you can actually make profit almost all the time, which is exactly what's happening here. And of course, entering into battles is, in my opinion, pretty useful. I mean, obviously it's useful, but I'm just trying to say it's useful for me specifically, for you know, Barney II to actually head into the fight himself personally, because generally I could just do auto-resolve and I could probably do quite well most of the time. I wouldn't really need to worry too much about, you know, losing in those situations. But it's just going to be very, very important for us to do something to get some skill ups, you know, get some skill ups. And again, I'm doing the same thing where I'm slicing and I'm following through with my weapon here like this, but I'm not following it up with this. You see what I mean? And the thing is that in Warband, because the combat was much lighter, much snappier, you were pretty easily able to literally just go like this. You could just spam. You could just spam from one attack direction. However, what I'm talking about is this. You see, doing stuff like that is going to be much more efficient thanks to the extra weapon weights that have been added in Bannerlord. That's going to be much better for overall damage, at least in my opinion. Maybe someone's done the calculations on that, and maybe I'm just, you know, blowing smoke here, but I think that I'm going to try to be a little bit more aware of that and see if I can maybe get a bit better in kind of one-on-one situations as well, because being good in one-on-one situations is certainly going to help me win more tournaments. Now, here's the thing. I don't really mind about losing any money on this particular trade here, because if I end up losing a little bit of money, then that doesn't actually matter, because the main thing that we have to consider when doing these kinds of trades is the fact that we really, really, really want our smithy to make as much money as possible. So that's what I'm really going for here. And I was hopeful that there might be a tournament going on, but no such luck. Now, what I am also going to do is we will think, and that's the thing, I need to have a look and see. Oh, Regea is actually right there. She has 35 units. That is actually hilarious, considering we're very, very close by. Okay, so I'm just going to, you know, do an auto-resolve here just so that we can get the fight over with, because we can actually speak to her, and I think I'm not entirely sure if we've spoken to her about the Battle of... Yeah, we've already spoken to her. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look and see whether her daughter has been last seen at Lycaron. Oh, she's actually here. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm currently in pursuit. Oh, there we go. Aha, that is where she is. Okay, so yeah, I actually paid the 500 gold to be able to get into Lycaron's castle, basically. It was a bribe, pretty much, just to get me in there. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find her. So she had basically already left. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to ask her. Yeah, here we go. I wish to profess myself your most ardent admirer. Bear in mind that my charm skill is absolutely terrible, so it's probably not... I'm not counting my chickens here. I think we're probably not going to be able to do this. Oh, actually we might. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised. 91%. Okay, here we go. Cross your fingers. 91%. Yes, okay, thank you very much. And 81%. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we actually did it. Fantastic, fantastic. Now, if we can do this, we will start having children, and then our children will inevitably become very good, you know. I mean, well, maybe not the boys so much, because as far as I'm aware, in this game, boys take after their father and girls take after their mother, and you know, well, we know how good she is. She's got a massive, really, really good amount of skills, and we are not so good. Okay, well, I'm going to have to wait a little bit of time in preparation for talking to her again, because you're not able, as far as I'm aware, you have to wait about a day. Alright, so here we go. I finally caught up to her, and we now have this option. I did try speaking to her once before, and she did not have this option yet. And it took me about a day and a half to get to this point. Okay, so 2 speech checks. I do have the opportunity to go for a critical success chance of 34%. If I were to try that, it would give me both successes straight away, but I think that's way, way too harsh. So I'm going to try... all I can say is that I try to repay good with good and evil with evil. Okay, there we go, there we go. Nice. We've got our first success right here. Alright, I have a 54% chance, or 55. Boom. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Very, very happy that we were able to do that. I think I would be honored to accept your proposal. Roger, as head of our family, needs to give her blessing. There are usually financial arrangements to be made. Alright, well, luckily enough, I do have quite a bit at the moment. Amusingly enough, I'm running around with 19 units. I mean, literally. That is not exactly great. Let's just say that. Anyway, let's have a look at Roger here. Click. There we go. Click on her. Thank you very much. Okay, Chinopsis Castle she was in very recently, which is just over here. I'm thinking that she's probably going to be spending quite a lot of time around Lycaron, potentially. So... yeah, okay, I'm just going to go into a village real quick, because apparently that does give you a bit of an update to your encyclopedia. And Poros. Aha. Last seen near Poros. Oh, so she went all the way over in this direction. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know, not too bad. And bear in mind that we are having a raid over here. Seems like... Who's that? Jastion? Wait a minute, this is not where I want to go, thank you very much. Jastion, who is that? Is he part of the Northern Empire? No? Yeah, yes, he actually is. He's part of the Northern Empire. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, good to see that they're actually attacking the Crusade, because I thought that the Southern Empire were going to get absolutely dismantled instantly, and they were having some difficulties. Ah, hello there. There is Roger, fantastic. Okay, she's fighting some looters. Not entirely sure why, to be honest, because she does have a massive army at the moment, and well, I guess she just fancied it. I don't know. She just fancied doing that. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's speak to her now, and we'll see whether we can do something. Okay, so yes, I wish to discuss the final terms of my marriage with Ira. All right. So how much? Oh wow. That's actually not even that much. Oh, I like this actually. Oh, the auto offer doesn't even... Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. The auto offer doesn't even increase the... Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're just going to do this. And boom. There we go. Barney II married Ira. That is fantastic. Okay. So there you go. So now she has technically joined us as our wife in our clan, as you can see right here. And I'm very pleased with this. I am very, very pleased with this, because she is an utter beast, as we have no doubt seen. Just look at this. She has 190 in riding, 190 in polearms. She's got an amazing amount of charm skill, as well as steward. Her medicine is not that good, but it doesn't really matter, because we have Iona here who has 81 in medicine, so that's all that really matters. And of course, she's going to be running around as a party right now. Now bear in mind that unfortunately my wages, as you can see, have now begun to skyrocket, which is the main reason why I have put off making an army of such significance yet, because, well, the obvious thing is that it's going to cost me a lot of money to be able to do that. And so what I'm going to do is I will hopefully be able to find her. Let's actually have a look here. Where is there she is. Okay, Zestia. That's over there. Oh, of course it is. Oh, no, there she is. There she is. Okay, fantastic. All right, so what we want to do is we want to speak to her straight away, and we are going to inspect her troops. And now I'm going to do something that you probably, I don't know, you might want to look away, because I'm going to steal all her stuff. No, I'm not going to steal all her stuff. I'm going to take all of her relatively good units. So I'm talking about these guys, and a couple of these as well. I guess a lot of them. Yeah, I guess quite a few of them. Do I already have one? Yeah, I already have some cavalry, don't I? So I'm just going to take those. Do these guys actually level up into anything? Yeah, they actually do. So I guess I will take those as well. But I won't be taking the recruits. And what I'm going to do is I am going to say to her that I would like her to disband her party for the moment. So she's going to disband. There you go. And then she's going to go... Oh, where did she go? Of course, wouldn't that always be the way? As soon as I disband her, she's like, okay, last seen Sestadime. I can only assume that she might be in here, or she might be at Lycaron. Lord's Hall? No, she's not here. Okay. Yeah. So she's probably at Lycaron, I would assume. But we have now married, which is fantastic. But the thing is that I really want her to be in my army so that we can get down to the whole, baby making business. And we can get that out of the way so that we have an heir if the worst were to happen and Barney II were to come down with some kind of terminal illness, because it might very well happen. I don't know how likely that is, but it's always good to be prepared, just in case. So let's see if we can... I'm actually going to try a duel this time around. I think it could be quite fun, even though it's maybe not the most efficient way of doing these kinds of things, but I think it might be quite an entertaining situation to be in. So let's see if we can do it. Very well. All right. Hello there. Okay, you're dead. Oh, well, that was a little bit too easy, wasn't it? Yeah, I went for the overheads. The overheads usually do a lot of damage, so yeah. I'm actually wondering whether she's already in our party. No, she is not. All right. So I wonder where she is. I would assume that she's in Lycaron. Probably, right? I mean, where else is she going to be? Oh, no. Have I lost my wife? I apparently have. Ressos Castle. Oh, okay. Ressos Castle. Where is that? What? Why is it so far away? Where is this, actually? This is... What? Why is she all the way up here? Oh, my. Okay, apparently she teleported all the way up there for some reason. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but thankfully we have now kind of quashed the amount of wages that we were paying beforehand, and so we're still getting about 100 or so per day, which is basically all I want. I don't really want anything in the negative. If we're getting negative wages, it just puts undue pressure on us as a whole. So it basically means that I have to spam tournaments, I have to spam trade routes and things like that, and I can't do what we actually need to do, which is level up a good army, try and scout out a couple of different fiefs and things like that, and maybe get ourselves into a situation where we will be able to go and become a vassal of the Southern Empire or of someone. I think the Southern Empire could be quite fun, so we'll see how it goes. But there you go. We now have her in our party, which is fantastic. And I'm thinking we might try to take some of her gear. I know that might seem really, really harsh, but I think she's probably got much better gear than I have. So let's actually just take a quick look here. Yeah, I mean, just look at this. This is some crazy stuff right here. This is absolutely insane gear. And while I really don't want to take her stuff, this is kind of necessary for me at the moment, because if I can stay alive a little bit more, then we'll be in a... I mean, just wait a minute for a second. That's 202,000. I could literally sell this for 202,000, and I could sell the helmet for 168,000, and I could literally buy a huge amount of workshops and caravans. And I cannot believe it. Wow, I had no idea. I know that someone actually did mention to me that if you marry someone and then take off their gear and stuff like that, you can actually get a huge amount of money from that. And I was actually unaware of how actually good that is. And how's the sword actually? I'm pretty happy with my sword at the moment. I don't really want to steal anything more from her, but her shield is actually really good. Oh my, I'm so sorry, Ira. I really did not want to do this. You know, I really did not want to do this. I feel pretty bad about this actually, but she has such good stuff. How can I say no? Because that means that I can basically go over to any tournament now and do pretty well, because obviously you take in most of your own gear, as far as I remember at least. So, for example, if we were to go over to Diathma right now and go into the tournament, there's actually another prize here. Lordly something or other. What is it? Lordly padded mittens. This is actually pretty nice. So let's actually see here. Yeah, look at this. I'm actually wearing my own gear here. So just imagine me doing this. And I'm just a juggernaut, you know? I am literally a juggernaut now, because I can literally just go up to these guys and do massive damage. Oh, there we go. Do massive damage and not really have to worry about dying in this case. And that's the reason why tournaments are actually quite nicely balanced in Bannerlord, because, well, I guess they were balanced in Warband as well. But in general, they seem pretty nicely balanced, because that means that the guys with better gear will end up probably winning in most situations. But I guess that is the case in most RPGs anyway. Anyone has better gear, then they're obviously going to be someone that will be more likely to achieve victory. And look at that, we've actually gained a skill point in one-handed weapon proficiency, which I very much appreciate, because that means that I'll be able to get my next trait. And as far as I'm aware, the traits in the one-handed tree are actually working now, so that's pretty cool. Oh, nice neck shot right there. Oh, I can't believe I missed that. Well, I can, because I have literally the worst bow skill in the history of man. But there you go. We're actually up against Iona here, and there you go. Yeah, there we go. Nice victory for us. And I believe we're up against an Imperial Veteran Infantryman. Now, just take a quick look here. This is exactly the reason why I personally feel like gear is amazing, because I will literally be able to win against this guy without too many difficulties. Just look at that. Did you see that? He pierced my helmet with a piercing attack. And do you see how much damage he's doing to me right now? Do you see how much damage that was? Like, with my regular gear, I would have died from that guy's attack. I'm pretty sure I would have died from that guy. So that's the kind of power that you're going to be fighting against some of the time, because the vassals are running around with this kind of gear. It's insane. It really is. It's really good. Anyway, Shield Bearer. Reduce the effect of wearing a shield on your combat movement speed. Also, infantry troops in the formation you are leading increase their movement speed by 5%. That sounds pretty fun to me, so I'm actually going to be doing that. There you go. All right, so yeah, we are actually looking pretty good right now. We're looking pretty good, and I'm wondering... I'm going to ask you something. Now, this isn't really going to determine what we end up doing, but I really want to hear your opinion on this. Which Empire faction do you think we should join? Because there's been a couple of grumblings in the comments about maybe joining the Northern Empire, because the Northern Empire is doing quite well at the moment. But if we truly want to stay, you know, loyal to our wife's clan and family and so on and so forth, then obviously joining the Southern Empire would probably be the way to go. But they are very much on the back foot. I don't know whether they're going to be able to fight back appropriately against the Crusade, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in time for me to join another faction after the Southern Empire potentially get eliminated by the Crusade, because that's exactly what happened to the original Barney as well with the Sturgians. So I'm going to be interested to hear your thoughts on that. But otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.